This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Check out this video on the BJ and Migs page of KISW.com. It's awesome. There's a woman, her name is Jasmine, and she is yelling from the podium of her sister's funeral at one of the attendees. And here's the moment where Jasmine began berating the woman that didn't donate to her sister's funeral fund, and called that woman a fake bitch.
You're a fake bitch. She didn't even like you. You owe her money, and I didn't even see you donate to my sister's funeral, so you're automatically disqualified. You could leave the room. Yeah, bye. Bye. Don't be all surprised now.
Oh my gosh, that would have been the greatest. I mean, it's sad to be at any funeral, but that would have made that funeral the greatest funeral ever. Which is, it doesn't take much, but
you'd think the funeral's the last place, where everyone's going to get along relatively okay, but man, no.
Oh, no, if you have issues with somebody and you see them there and you're grieving someone you care about and you're like, that person didn't even care about you. Why are you even here?
Having gone through 2 funerals this year for my grandparents, I can tell you it brings out the worst in people.
Oh, so you saw drama, huh, Danny?
Oh, yeah, well, and not necessarily at like.
Anyone called a fake bitch?
Probably behind
I think they called
the scenes.
You.
Yeah. No, there were physical fights.
What?
There were. Oh yeah. It was pretty bad. So, but it wasn't actually at the funeral. It happened all before, because we're classy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And afterwards, then you go get dinner.
Yeah.
And that's when the drinks start getting poured and they get stiffer and stiffer. And
the
true emotions come out. But this happened at the funeral while the lady's talking in front of everybody.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. I've seen stuff at the dinner. You're right. But at the funeral wow, we are just losing it. We're just totally losing it. Man.
My favorite part about all of it was the caption that she had on the video, because it's like she posted the video after she went off on that quote-unquote fake bitch, and then she wrote, "I hope I gave you the best funeral, baby sis. Fly high."
Yeah, I think baby sis was happy. Baby sis is like, you had my back.
That's going to probably happen more, though. Like, you're going to see people like look through the GoFundMes or whatever it is that like those websites that collect money for whatever it may be. Let's just say it's for funeral costs. I wouldn't be surprised if some people are going to be like, kind of petty and look through it to see if like Aunt Gladys, I don't know why her name's Gladys, but it is.
Oh, good old Aunt Gladys.
But see if she donated any money to the charity.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's interesting. Here I thought it was going to be the fund to help fund the funeral, but you're right. Some people say in lieu of flowers. Oh, so they're going to go check that and get pissed. Damn.
That would be my guess.
Oh, good call, Steve, because that's, part of me thinks, well, you know what? I don't want to donate or I don't get the cash, but I'll pay my respects. Wow. If that's the reason that she's mad that she didn't donate to like the charity fund. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. I think
she also said that she owed money, and there was it seemed like there was some beef.
Oh well, all right. If she owed money to somebody for some good reason, or to like baby sis who's flying right now. Okay.
Now we're gonna need someone at the door at a funeral with like GoFundMe page open, And then just scrolling through and be like, oh, what's your name? Tanya? Okay, Tanya, let me check. Okay, good. You donated $25.
You can come in. You're fine. You're not a fake bitch.
It's the new guest. You're not a fake bitch.
Yeah.
This is the fake bitch list.
Wow.
Now, do you let people in, but they have to have the, like a scarlet letter, they have to have the FB, the fake bitch. All right, you can come in, but we're going to put fake bitch right. Here's a little fake bitch sticker. Here you go.
With Sharpie, just FB on your forehead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Instead of I voted, it's fake bitch.
Yeah, I never
have
saw
to wear.
a fist fight at a funeral.
Well, you haven't been to Danny's. You got to go to Danny's.
Yeah. I mean, I've had my dad got into it with a guy because I told you the story before. After my grandfather died, and we're all being very emotional. This guy sat next to me and he's just like, something in the line of basically saying, don't worry, your dad's going to die too at some point as well.
There
so
we go.
It's good for you to get used to this.
That's good to talk to a kid that way. I mean, it really
Right.
is. Really get the kid ready with a good pep talk. It's like, oh, what's that now? My dad's dying too?
And
Okay,
so
great.
That,
thanks.
of course, triggered all these waterworks to think like that. And then my dad swooped in and heard what happened, and then he's now threatening to beat the crap out of it. But nothing ever. They didn't actually throw fists.
Well, if he was wearing a Santa Claus suit, then it would have been.
He wouldn't even made it in the door, BJ.
Yeah, exactly. Because your dad and people wearing Santa Claus suits, that's when it goes down. That's when the fights happen. Yeah. Well, I feel like the pandemic surely isn't helping people's mental stability. So we're seeing a lot more people quitting over PA systems, funeral call-outs. Man,
All right, so if you were at a funeral and you saw somebody that you felt like, okay, that the person that you guys are, showing love to because they passed would have not liked that person to be there, would you say anything?
No.
Right?
No.
It's so
I-
disrespectful, like to the
Yeah.
whole ceremony and everything. It's like, if you want to do that, do it somewhere else, like the reception or
Exactly, the
afterwards.
dinner. I mean, I had somebody do that next to me, and I was the one that had to calm that person down. It was like, and now it was funny as we were leaving the funeral. The husband of this person, because I was good friends with his wife growing up, and so he said, "Hey, would you do me a favor? Would you sit next to my wife? I'll sit on one side, you sit on the other." I wasn't sure why, and then as the dinner proceeded, and she was really having a hard time keeping it together. Really, the same reason. She was not happy with some of the people that showed up, who she felt was like, "You didn't care about
Right.
this person in my life." And I realized, I'm here to help, keep the wheels on the bus. All right. You're right. That reception dinner, that's when people have been holding it in, the first glass of alcohol, and it's like real comes out. Here's what I really think about you people in my time of grief.
'Cause I remember one time there was a person that died in our family, and then nobody wanted oddly enough, the guy that dressed as Santa Claus, nobody wanted him to be at the wedding.
Oh,
Not the wedding, the
Santa.
funeral. Right, so it was the big talk. Like, if he shows up, we're not letting him in because he hasn't been around. He kind of, just kind of like disassociated himself with the entire family. But some people thought he might show back up because they're thinking he's going to want to show up because he's going to want some of the inheritance or whatever. Like, it was so much drama. And I remember being a kid and I'm grieving, obviously, the loss of a family member. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder if Uncle Frank's going to show up. Like, because this could get pretty epic.
Yeah. And even at
He
that
never
young
did.
age, you like to watch Epic.
Well, I mean, how do you not when there's this
Yeah.
buildup of like, some saying I'm going to punch him right in the face if he shows up, to others just saying I'm going to just push him out of the door. Like, this was not going to go well if Uncle Frank showed up, and he didn't. But man, there was a part of me that was just like, this could be
Come
something
on.
pretty cool.
So you say he started disconnecting from the family. Was it any time around the time when he was beaten up while dressed as Santa Claus that he decided maybe he should stay away
No,
from
he
the
was
family?
still good for a few more
Oh, he
years
was
after
good.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So then your father's not to blame.
No, it was more of his wife. She got in the middle of everything.
Oh, what else is
It's
new?
not my dad's fault. Come on.
Yeah. What else is new? The spouse. The spouse just gets in the way of everything.
It seems that way. Like the one that's not, whoever's not married is a part of the family. That does sometimes cause a rift.
Yeah, I know. It's the Yoko Ono effect. It's like, you can't let Yoko ruin the family. You just can't. You got to find a way to say, look, Yoko, you know what? You stay over there, whatever.
Someone said I've been given crap for not attending a funeral for some people that wouldn't have liked me to be there anyway.
I get crap for not visiting the grave sites.
Why?
Because there are people that believe that you should visit the grave sites at least, once a year, twice a year. And I specifically said, I don't want to think about my parents in the ground. That is not how I want to remember them. It is a very morbid site for me. I don't like grave sites. I don't believe in it. I want to be cremated. And I said, I would rather remember them like in my heart as what they were when they were alive. Because my dad had cancer. So he really looked horrific at the end. And they tried to make him look good with, what they do with the open casket stuff. And he did not even look like my father. So it's like that image is what I think of when I think of him being put in the ground. I don't want to go there. It just is not pleasant. And I get a lot of crap for that. You have to honor their memory and bring flowers. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's like that within my family too. What you're saying reminds me a lot of like my grandfather when and that was like the weirdest thing with the open casket, and then like you could tell like they just went overboard with the makeup and just to try and make him look more healthy, and it was just like, and then you have to kiss the forehead. And it's just that feeling, that sensation will never leave me. It was so traumatic. I will never push Tatum or anyone in my family to do something like that. We were all pressured to do that because that's just the tradition of what you do. And then my, family members would go to the grave sites too. And I never understood that. I was like, this is I understand paying respect. And I understand keeping the person in your thoughts. And I would always do that. But I never wanted to have to go somewhere so depressing and dark to do that.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it works for people, I get it. But man, I remember them every day in my heart, and I think of like fond memories of my dad and my mom.
Yeah.
But the grave is not where I go there, and I don't have fond memories of them. All I have is just horrific memories of both of them because it was traumatic, both of them, when they died, and I don't want to remember that.
Does anyone else have that in their families where you had to go to grave sites, or because that was a thing? Like we had to there was at least a few times a year that you had to go plan to go visit this person or that person at the grave site.
I never had because a lot of my family members that have passed are in Mexico, so I've never been able to go see them or even go attend funerals or anything because a lot of my family's over there, so no for me.
Well, and it's weird for me because I've always I guess it says something about my personality. I enjoy going to cemeteries just because it's like I've always just thought they were like, I don't know, just an interesting storytelling perspective for me. So I've always just liked going to cemeteries or grave sites and stuff like that. So now
were you partying grave sites when you were younger.
Yeah, 100%. You weren't one of those.
Did you take a girl and go make out with her?
100%.
Wow.
And so for now, it's like now that my family is actually there, I don't mind going. I don't like spending a ton of time at just one
Well, you're probably afraid of running into your ex-girlfriends that you all
true.
made out
They
with.
all hang out there, and it's super weird. But no, I mean, for me, it's not necessarily I want to go and spend time at one specific grave. It's just I like going to the cemetery in general.
Yeah.
So I know I'm weird.
No, not weird at all. It's
totally
fine.
Yeah, I mean, I know that people really like that, the whole nightmare, the Nightmare Before Christmas vibe. But yeah, it's very macabre for me.
That seems like the beginning of a horror film, though, to go make out with somebody at a gravesite.
Yeah. Danny's usually one that he's usually. I mean, look, he's the first to die in every one of those movies, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably trip on a log while he's being chased by somebody.
Yeah, that would be Danny.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. New survey found out that we like to collect a lot of weird stuff. And I got the 10 strangest things that people collect.
I think about it now a lot because whenever I drive home and I see that pink gnome that I have at my house, I think of your daughter because she collects gnomes.
Oh, yeah. She would love that gnome. And
She's not getting it.
Yeah, there's only one in our yard right now, and I'm afraid that it's just going to continue until I get her the hell out of the house.
It's Gnome Alone.
Yeah, exactly. Gnome Alone right now. Banana plants are number one on the list of the weird things that people collect.
Banana plants?
I don't know why they do that. Why? Do they look cool? I don't understand.
Yeah. Can we search what a banana plant looks like? Because I wouldn't mind having a plant that grew bananas.
I don't think these grow bananas.
Oh.
You can get fake ones on Wayfair. That's
so. Why do they call them banana plants then? I don't understand.
That's false advertising, guys.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, unless they're like little mini bananas.
Unless they are like a banana plant tree, but they can't really grow indoors or here in Seattle because they're more of a tropical
climate. I'd be so sick if I had a giant tree that had bananas growing out of it.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I love bananas.
You know what it is? It's the whole plant thing. My girlfriend's super into it. She has like 47,000 plants in our 2-bedroom apartment, and I think so. It's just probably like
It's just the name of it.
Yeah, she went like on a big thing to find like a certain plant one time, and it was like super rare, but they had them at some Home Depots in town. And we went. No, it was a thing. Like we went all the way. People camp out for these things, and I
What?
was like, yeah.
Okay.
And I was
Did
like,
she ever
all right.
get it?
Yeah, she did. She found one. And it was like 20.
Do they have like a Facebook group for it? Like, I feel like that's something that probably
many,
they do. Oh my
many
gosh.
Facebook groups for it too.
The joke is nowadays
Yes.
that pets are the new kids and plants are the new pets.
Yeah.
People are just obsessed
Yeah,
with
that
plants.
vibes. Yeah.
So it's probably just like a super rare one or something.
I like fake plants, man. I'm a big fan of that, where it looks nice.
You have to water
And
it.
don't have to do a
anything
damn
to it.
thing because we had a plant set up outside of our house, and like between my wife and I think like we should be arrested for murder. Like we tried.
we had a neighbor.
I'm pretty sure I overwatered it. Like
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And even my wife's like, "How often do you water this thing?" I'm like, "Every time I'm watering the lawn." She's like, "You might want to pump the brakes on that." I'm like, "Okay."
Whoops.
You drowned it.
I did.
We had a neighbor who had these beautiful red, maybe not roses, but some sort of red plant that were in their planter boxes in the front. Turned to find out that she gets fake ones and just rotates them whenever they start to fade. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Great idea.
Sure is.
That's a very BJ thing to do with his
Oh,
fake
definitely.
grass.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey,
Say
dude,
what you want.
fake grass is where it's at. I finally joined BJ's
Yeah.
team.
Woo!
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Not our front yard's still real grass because they shot that whole idea down for the HOA because God forbid you have perfect looking grass. I mean,
The HOA does not want to have fake grass in the front yard. Are they out of there? Do they know how good the product is now?
Me, I'm like, well, why? I was just curious. And they're like, well, because we want things to look uniform in the front. I'm like, uniformly bad? Have you seen everyone else's lawn? Like,
Nice and brown.
come on.
We want everything to look uniform in the front. Oh, man. I see. That's the problem with
Yeah,
the
Steve, what if you have the only lush green lawn and everyone else has brown dead grass?
Dude, I know. And I was like, I thought of BJ when we got it in the backyard. We got it mainly because Tatum, that way she could play. I don't have to worry about it being all muddy and nasty. And I'm not good at I don't have a green thumb. I have like a brown thumb. But that doesn't sound right.
No, it does not.
Oh, God.
A dead lawn thumb. I have that.
There we go.
That's better, right?
Yeah.
But it's so nice. And like, this would be great in the front, too, man.
It should. I can see. That's just the ludicrous nature of an HOA. You will actually make your place look better all year round, and they're like, no.
Well, I think also it's because right now the HOA is being run by a company. You know, eventually they're going to hand it over. Like I think when the development's full, then someone who the HOA will be run by someone that lives in the development.
Somebody
then they-
named Steve.
Yeah,
they
start
even
your
said that, like,
campaigning, bro.
They're like, you can revisit this when the HOA actually is put in place. And I looked to my wife, I'm like, how bad would it be if I just want to become the president of the HOA just solely so we could get the grass done and then quit?
Yeah.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. Be like,
Yeah,
I'm out.
that's exactly what you do. As
been
soon
a
as you
good
get your
run.
grass, peace.
I am not competent to continue my duties as HOA president.
Duties.
Well, he's got a brown thumb after all.
Yeah.
Right.
No, a dead lawn thumb.
So people are loving their plants because carnivorous plants is number 10 on this list. So banana plants at number 1, carnivorous plants at number 10 for the weird things, strange things that people collect.
Is that like a Venus flytrap?
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
know there were more than that.
Oh, yeah, the carny plants? Come on.
The carny plants.
You got to go. Those are the ones that run all the rides, at the Puyallup Fair. When they can't get a dude, they get a plant.
One text says, I know of someone that collects toenails in a jar.
Oh, God.
Who would do that?
Who does
Yeah,
that?
why?
Serial killers. That's who would do
Why?
it.
Strange people with brown thumbs.
But somebody on the
No,
show
I do
used
it in
to-
a Tic Tac container, not
Yeah,
a jar.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
And I was younger.
Better.
Yeah.
I don't do
People-
that anymore.
Well,
my
you're
wife's
35.
Yeah. 34. Mom told me to stop doing it.
Yeah. Number 2 on this list is what my wife used to do. And there's 2 things, raccoons and penguin statues. Now, my wife would collect little figurines when she was younger. She doesn't do the raccoons that much anymore. But raccoons and penguin statues, because they're cute, I guess, out of all the different animals you could have statues of.
Penguins are pretty cute.
All right.
And a lot of people like raccoons for some reason.
Trash pandas.
They look cute.
I mean,
the
I
cartoon versions of them look really cute.
The 4 we got in our neighborhood suck.
That's the problem.
They keep messing with their water features and ruining them and washing themselves in it.
Feed them cherries. They love cherries.
Okay, good to know.
Honestly, like when I'm in a bad mood, there is a video of a raccoon. He's a chubby raccoon. He's just rolling around, like doing kind of cartwheels. And it's the dumbest thing, but it makes me feel better every time I watch it. Just this big old chunk of a raccoon.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe that's why people are digging it. It puts a smile on their face. So lots of statues out there of penguins and raccoons that people are collecting.
I've never encountered a penguin statue or a raccoon statue.
We had that one penguin in the studio for the longest time, remember?
Oh, that's a good call.
And it was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. Now that I think about it, I mean, maybe they're inside statues. I mean, I don't see too many things outside.
I feel like we should start an animal statue store.
Oh, okay.
Vicky's all in on that one.
I'm just looking at all these statues, and I need them for my yard. I want to be that neighbor.
Please.
Oh, here we go. This is a problem.
Hope you don't have an HOA that will yell at you.
I do, but they never come around. It's fine.
All right, good. One person says that whoever moves into the development first should be the president of the HOA.
Oh,
there you go. Default, baby.
Then I'd
go,
be
buddy.
like VP or treasurer, I think.
Oh,
I was either second or third person in the development.
The verified one.
You got to have power to get the grass. That's it.
That's all I want.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, let me replenish my fund before that. So I got another year or so until
fair enough.
Make that happen.
Well, listen. I mean, you're almost a backup to the backup. So now you've got more cred. Got more cred to be the HOA guy.
You know what?
now.
I'm sending an email right now.
Do it. Do they know who they're talking to? Come on.
Like, listen. That's how the email will just start with the subject.
Yeah,
listen.
Yeah. It really is dumb. We want everything to look bad consistently rather than you have that 1 yard that looks good.
Yeah,
Okay.
One text says, I just joined the fake grass nation. All my neighbors have brown grass. Mine is amazing.
Oh, yeah, it is. Every year I smile because, I go out and I look at my backyard. Everything is brown, and then around me I've got an oasis of green. It's pretty nice. Everybody laughed, but now who's got the last laugh? Steve and I.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, me just in the back.
And also, we don't waste water.
My front's not so funny.
And don't forget the carbon footprint because we're not watering the damn thing, so we're even better in that respect, too.
Boom.
Hell yeah, we win everything.
Checkmate.
All right, a lot of people may have this. I know my buddies do. A couple of my buddies. Portraits of Wolverine. Huh. The Wolverine from X-Men. That dude.
Oh, I thought like those the wolf T-shirts. Like you ever see those? Like the shirts with just like a crazy wolf just howling at the moon or something.
Multiple. Oh yeah, I've got the 3 werewolf moon shirt.
Perfect.
Yeah, I remember those. This is Wolverine. This is the superhero. Yeah.
That just seems very specific, though.
Yeah.
And is it Hugh Jackman or is it just Wolverine, like the cartoon Wolverine?
When I Googled portraits of Wolverine, I get a lot of drawings of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I have one.
There's a lot. There's a lot of different ones. I mean, my friends have the cartoon version. Like something like one of the drawings from him from the comics. But yeah, I mean, people love Wolverine. He's a beloved character.
Oh, he's badass. But could you imagine coming over to my house and I'm showing you around the house and I bring you into one of the bedrooms, or not one of the bedrooms, one of the rooms, and it's just like a shrine for Wolverine, like all these different paintings and portraits.
Well, I can't throw too many stones. I literally have a Thanos shrine in my studio.
Yeah, we think you're weird for that, Rev.
Oh,
yeah.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah, that is a good point, Rev. We probably are weird to everybody else.
That's the only thing.
It's not really a shrine, but my mom gave me this really, it's a china cabinet that's been in our family for 80 years or something.
Is it of Wolverine?
But each shelf has a different theme or has a different section. So I have Wolverine and X-23 on one side. I have the Crow on the other. I have all my Funko Pops in it because I don't have any fine china.
I think that's awesome. I think that you using a fine china cabinet for
Funkos, basically,
nerddom
toys.
is awesome.
What else am I going to use it for? I'm a millennial. I can't afford china.
Who wants fancy dishes? If I'm not eating on them, I don't want them.
Exactly.
Fair enough, yeah.
I never understood that. My mom was all into that, too. And I hated it extra because I had to be the one that was dusting it. I'm like, why am I dusting these things that we don't use? They're just cups and plates and silverware. And I don't understand why this is on display. Does this make you feel cool?
In case the Pope comes over.
Right. You know what? The Pope never came over.
Maybe they're worth money, though.
That used to be
probably
status.
are actually.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. For the longest time, that was like the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s status, is that every woman in her house had to have a cabinet of fine china. I don't know why either, Steve. It just seemed to be like, okay, this means you made it. You finally arrived. You have your own cabinet of fine china.
And for us, it was such a weird setup because in the china cabinet had all the fine china. But then my mom was a huge fan of those Emmett Kelly clowns.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Those ceramic, she collected those a lot.
Yeah.
And had all different ones. So it was in addition to all this fancy plates and stuff, there were creepy clowns in this thing. It was so crazy, man. It was awesome.
See, my grandma was badass. She collected beer steins. We had a ton of awesome beer steins. I have no idea what happened to them now, but they were super cool, from when just traveling in the military and stuff, because she was a military wife. So it was some actual German beer steins that were just gigantic.
I've never done the beer steins. I've always done the shot glasses.
Oh, yeah, we've got a bunch of different random shot glasses.
Every time I go somewhere, I try to get a shot glass for the house.
That's cool.
So those are all, I can understand that. They're manageable, collectible things. There's a couple of things. Look, there's swords on this list, which I can understand because I got friends that love swords and put them on the wall.
I would love a bunch of swords in my house.
I'm more of a knife guy.
Yeah, well, that too. You visit my buddy's house, Steve. He's got all the cool looking swords, the
samurai swords.
All the Excalibur, the samurai, all the battle swords from old school time. Those things make sense to me. But how about these two things on the list that really I don't understand? People collect frozen pizza packaging and dust. Those are on the list of the top 10 things that people collect.
So dirt and trash.
Yeah,
dirt and trash.
Ridiculous.
I really hope when they said dust, it's just a joke. It's so what are you collecting? I'm collecting dust. Because they don't do any cleaning. I'm really hoping it's a joke.
I hadn't thought about that, Vic. And why would they put that as a real answer if that was the case? Do you think people actually collect dust in a bottle or something? Or
I know people collect sand. But that makes sense because it's a reminder of somewhere they went on vacation, and so they have this is sand from Hawaii or this is sand from it's like a tiny little jar. It's not like a giant bowl of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but dust this is the dust from Grandma's house. That seems very scary.
And why frozen pizza packaging unless it's sort of I want to have every frozen pizza that has ever been made, and I'm going to display all the packages of everything I've tried.
Well, those DiGiorno boxes are art.
Yeah, they really are.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah. It's very that I don't get.
Well, I guess I could kind of understand it in terms of I used to every beer can that I used to new beer that I would try, I would keep the beer can after I drank the beer to be I've tried all these. Maybe it's the same kind of thing. They just don't drink, so they're doing frozen pizzas. These are all the frozen pizzas I've tried.
I guess but I remember people did collect beer cans. They, my brother used to have the whole thing of beer, as a pyramid of beer that he would put as a sculpture in his house. Yeah. That's his. Hey, look what I got! That's a piece of art over there. All the beer I drink.
If you collect though a bunch of pizza boxes, I feel like you need to create a Facebook page or an Instagram page where you review the pizzas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there needs to be something to it. Add something to the whole idea of just collecting these boxes. Then at least you have here's the box. That pizza was good. Here's the box. This pizza was $1, so get what you paid for.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony's Pizza.
I like that. I like that idea.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I know if bankruptcy is going to provide me with relief? What are the steps for my situation?
There's so much information out there about bankruptcy with the internet and what people have heard from friends and other people that they've talked to about their financial issues or bankruptcy. There's also a lot of bad information out there or urban legends about bankruptcy. In order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you need to talk to an attorney that's experienced in bankruptcy. So in order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you should talk to an experienced bankruptcy attorney. And my job is not to convince you to file bankruptcy. My job is to help you to make that decision and have all the facts so that you can make an informed decision about whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, what benefits it's going to have for you, and what the downside of filing bankruptcy is.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.